Google went to Burning Man to find its next CEO. This was published December 21st, just this year, but Eric Schmidt was hired in 2001. Sergey Brin and Larry Page, the co-founders of Google, went to Burning Man with Eric Schmidt nearly 2 decades ago to see if he had what it takes to become the CEO. So, in general, a lot of people already know that Burning Man is a highly satanic, ritual-like concert. I'm going to go ahead and read what someone who actually attended the concert said about it. On Saturday night, the hell-themed festival reached its crescendo in the form of a drama. These people were literally celebrating the fact that one day they would enter hell. To simulate their journey, the camp's center stage was transformed into the vestibule of hell. The guest of honor was none other than Papa Satan. As the lecherous Papa Satan bowed in mock chains before a placard reading, "Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved," a group called Idiot Flesh, supposedly Christians, dressed as hooded executioners, began to play a discordant dirge, accompanied by flashing strobes. When the crowd started its torchlight procession towards the gates of hell and an eerie, sculpted castle called the City of Dis, I sensed an unmistakable chill in the air. Our march had been joined by the unseen, malevolent guests, nudists, and a moving sea of devil banners moved around us at the Tri-Tower City of Dis. Our descent into the inferno reached a demonic sanctuary, while massive loudspeakers pumped out a hellish bass tone, accompanied by tormented screams. People dressed as demonic insects celebrated by copulating with other captured souls. It was a scene that looked as if it had been plucked from a horrific nightmare. So going back to Google, Schmidt landed the job because he proved he could cut loose during the Burning Man concert. In his book Stealing Fire, author and performance expert Steven Kotler explains how the founders of Google, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, found their CEO at Burning Man. On Thursday, Google's parent company Alphabet announced that Eric Schmidt is stepping down as chairman of Alphabet. The change will be effective in January 2018. Page and Brin were proud burners. From the very beginning, Larry and Sergey have been kind of rabid attendees. The center atrium at Google for years was decorated with pictures of Googlers at Burning Man, spinning fire, doing various things, Kotler told Business Insider. Part of what appealed to the duo about Burning Man was the sense of community at its core. So one of the things that happens at Burning Man, and there's recent research out of Oxford that sort of backs this up, is that Burning Man alters consciousness in a very particular way, and it drops people into a state of group flow, Kotler said. Flow is a peak performance state, he continued. It's an individual performing at their peak. Group flow is simply a team performing at their peak, and everybody has some familiarity with this. If you've ever taken part of a great brainstorming session, where ideas are kind of bouncing everywhere, you're really reaching ripe, smart conclusions. If you've seen a fourth quarter comeback in football, that's group flow in action. According to Kotler, Google relies on creating group flow states to get the best work out of their employees. In 1999, Page and Brin raised $12.5 million from Kleiner Perkins Caulfield and Beiners, a top VC firm in Silicon Valley. As part of the deal, they promised the firm they would hire an outsider to replace Page as CEO, a common play to provide adult supervision to young founders. They wanted the next CEO to be in harmony with these group flow states, but they didn't really know how to screen for it. Then they met Schmidt, then CEO of software company Novel. Page and Brin had blown through and alienated like 50 different CEOs in the Valley they tried to interview. They found out that Eric Schmidt had actually been to Burning Man, so they bumped him to the top of their list. They took him to Burning Man to see how he would do. They wanted to know, was he going to be able to let go of his ego, merge with the team, or was he going to stand in its way, Kotler said. And it turns out he passed the test. And the result is one of the most pivotal CEO hires in the modern era. With what takes place at Burning Man, it has to make you wonder, was this some sort of initiation into the Alphabet Agency?